Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor to work with you guys this week. And I live out in Squim. So who here lives on the peninsula by chance? We got a few representatives. All right, good to see. I'm not quite the same distance that the Scots had to take to get here, but we really appreciate everyone's efforts. And on the peninsula, we see some problems that are widespread, but they're very specific to us. And these are the ghost crab pots. These are derelict crab gear that gets trapped, and we're working on ways to get these out. Now, I spent most of my full-time days working as a robotics researcher at the Pacific Northwest National Laboratory. We have an office in Seattle, in Squim, and then up in Richland, Washington, over the east side. But in my free time, I've been spending more and more time trying to pull up crab pots and do sonar mapping with this lovely little blue boat in the front here. Quick little video, if you're not familiar with the crabbing process, we've got some cool live footage here, but this is a lifestyle for many people on the peninsula and throughout many coastal communities. Crabbing is a lifeblood, it's a food source, it's a sport, it's great. And I have nothing against crabbing. What really is sad is when these pots come down and they unfortunately don't always make their way back up. This happens for a variety of reasons. A lot of it's human error. We have boat propellers that will go by and slice the line. You can see it on the right, that's the line going out. And once we lose that surface expression, it's really hard to find where these pots are on the seafloor. Of course, there's all the weather events that can cause, losing the lines, and there is some documented cases of sabotage, not the greatest ordeal. But as you can see now, these pots, we routinely live life underwater. The ecosystem is strong out here. We would love to see it. But unfortunately, there's some very sad news here. I pulled this pot up 2 weeks ago, and the footage that was on that GoPro that was attached to it was from 2015. And so that means that every single crab in that cage you just saw died in that cage. And this pot has been fishing, taking crabs in, they're dying. This is happening for the last 9 years. Think about what you were doing 9 years ago. I was graduating high school. And this pot has unfortunately been fishing for all that time. There's about 500 more pots just like this doing this process throughout Squim Bay and Discovery Bay. And those are only two of the bays that we have out there. There's so many more all throughout the Puget Sound. You can imagine the scale of this problem. And some estimates have that about 10% of the crab population annually dies inside these pots. This is a hugely widespread problem. So I've broken the solution into two main categories. First and foremost is detection. You can see some blurry side scan sonar images here. And then the second side is once you know where those pots are, can you get them out? How do you extract those? How do you get down and pull these pots out of the water? These are the two main things that I've seen in order to solve this problem. It's not cheap, okay? You're gonna pay an arm and a leg to do this. Boat towed side scan sonar is gonna cost you probably minimum $80,000. These can get super expensive depending on the resolution that you need. And then once you know where it is, the recovery of that is gonna cost you a commercial dive team to go out there. Okay, this is hard on the peninsula. We don't have these dive teams available to us all the time. Also, we've got limits with depth there. It's just overall this system is not good for scaling to be able to take out the number of pots that we need to match what's going in every year. At the time with Blue Robotics, we think we've got maybe a reasonable solution here. The blue boat right here, with a 450 kilohertz side scan sonar, we think actually might stand a chance to find these crab pots. This whole system right up in front is $10,000 worth of equipment. So you're already down from the ADK Mark originally. We were out in Squim Bay on Thursday, boom, not a crab pot, but a wreck. So we're already testing, we're finding things in our own local waters. This is giving a lot of promise for this vehicle. We were also driving it around just freely. I'm not sure if anyone's seen side scan sonar of crab pots before, but we saw some little blips that we're hoping could potentially beat that. I've got a lot more testing that I need to do to confirm that these are actually crab pots. But anyway, these initial tests are really showing promise for what this vehicle can do for the communities. The other side is how we deal with the recovery. And luckily, Ben Greiner of Coastal Census and Survey has already been forwarding this work. And with about a $20,000 ROV, with kits, navigation sensors, and everything, they're able to pull out crab pots at a pretty impressive rate. Here's the footage that he's got from live going down here. As you can see, his goal is to go in there, hook it with a separate grappling line, let go with the gripper of the ROV, back away, swim away, and then they're able to go and pull up with that grappling hook, getting those crab pots off the seafloor. Pretty impressive work that they're doing there. That was all a NOAA-funded grant, so NOAA's been involved. It's all through their marine debris program, which has been very impressive. They have a rate of about 20 pots per 8-hour day they believe they can take out. And on this grant, they cleared over 600 targets. Now, not everything's a crab pot. Sometimes it's just a tire. Sometimes it's too embedded to get out. But they're able to go to all these different targets they've done from side scan sonar and identify what those are, and they pull them on if they can. There's still about 500 of these targets still remain, though, out in the bays of the peninsula. What's on the horizon for my work? I'm really trying to crew this side scan sonar vehicle to see what it can do on that next level. I've been working with folks from the Department of Natural Resources to see, okay, how accurate is this going to be for the price point, right? An $80,000 sonar will get you extremely high resolution, but if we can do it with something cheaper, that value is really there and it's open to the communities. I need to do some more ground truth crab pot testing. The robotics team out in Port Angeles, the Sea Dragons, they actually have some crab pots and experience doing this. I'll be working with them to do some tests. And then last but not least, we need to get this actually published. We need to get work out there. There's a lot of good work happening on the East Coast and West Coast. I want to be able to work with these folks, show the methods we're doing, get these publicized so that we can help the communities and give guides essentially of how to go out and get these crab pots. Overall, I think we're leaning much more towards a lower cost solution that the communities can fight for, the tribes can fight for, different organizations, the marine resource committees. A lot of folks out here, I think this is getting to the price point where we really can have distributed teams so we don't have to contract for bigger cities, commercial dive teams, and so forth. Thank you so much. I'm super stoked on this, guys. There's a lot of potential here, and thank you to everyone who I've been able to talk to who's given me information. I've only been out here for 8 months on the peninsula. It's been an absolute privilege to talk with all of you, and please, someone try to find me at the happy hour later. I'd love to chat. I've been documenting everything that I'm doing on my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe, guys. I appreciate it. But again, also my email's right here. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the program today.